Due process dies in Minnesota. Joe Biden once said court packing was boneheaded, and a CNN executive goes on a Tinder date and gets caught with his pants down. Welcome to another exciting week. Makes you kind of nostalgic for 2020, doesn't it? Yeah. Daunte Wright was accidentally shot by a police officer in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota last Sunday. The now fired city manager, Kurt Boganey, lost his job for suggesting giving the officer due process.
All employees working for the city of Brooklyn Center are entitled to due process with respect to discipline. This employee...
Not when it's a police officer who's white shooting a black suspect.
He will receive due process, and that's really all that I can say today.
And he doesn't have a job now. Hey, you know the gallows in the courthouse square have been built. What gives, dude? But hey, why let a tragedy go to waste when you can enjoy store-wide savings of 100% in another social justice looting sale? Yes, the savings are store-wide. All you need to do is break a window and come inside. You know, they're looting a Dollar Tree. Literally, you could walk out with an armful of stuff and really only getting about, I don't know, $4 or $5 worth of stuff. But then again, looters aren't terribly intelligent. No justice, no price. BLM riots are multicultural, too. Here's a BLM organizer working hand-in-hand with white people to make them into human shields.
Nah, get the white people in the front, bro.
Put the white people up there where the rubber bullets are flying and the tear gas canisters.
People in the front. White allies in the front.
I meant white allies, not white. Just know they're our allies. They're our friends. So go to the front. Everything's cool in the front.
White allies in the front. White allies in the front.
I'm fine back here. I'm cool. Actually, I know I'm white and everything, but I'll be cool right back here. Here is Police Chief Tim Gannon, who no longer has a job, saying he'll protect the peaceful protesters in the city and implying he wouldn't protect those who loot and do violent stuff.
Will you commit to protecting protesters and the people of the city?
I am committed to protecting the peaceful protesters of the city every day.
Not yesterday.
Not yesterday.
Peaceful protesters.
I was a peaceful protester.
Yeah, I meant the peaceful protesters, not the looty people and the people who are breaking stuff. That's not peaceful. Okay, yeah, thought you should know. Of course, he no longer has a job, probably because of that. Looters are criminals, not protesters. Here's the chief explaining why crowd dispersal techniques were used during a protest outside the Brooklyn Police Department.
So the officers that were putting themselves in harm's way.
Brooklyn Center.
Being pelted with frozen cans of pop. They were being pelted with concrete blocks. And yes, we had our helmets on and we had other protection gear, but
I know. I'm still not seeing it. Why would you fire tear gas and disperse it? I'm not getting it yet.
An officer was injured, hit in the head with a brick. That was a Hennepin County deputy.
So he was injured. I mean, I'm still looking for the reason why you guys decided to fire some tear gas.
He was transported to the hospital. So we had to make decisions. We had to disperse the crowd because we can't allow our officers to be harmed.
Yeah. Projectile tossing and cop injuries does not a peaceful protest make. The mayor of Brooklyn Center, Mike Elliott, says the solution for all of this is for police officers not to have weapons during traffic stops.
Full text of your request and
how was prom last year, by the way?
Make sure that we sit down and go through it and see how we can implement.
Was putting the corsage on, was that uncomfortable? It was for me.
I don't believe that officers need to necessarily have weapons, every time they're making a traffic stop.
This is what we call politicians who don't know what they're talking about, shooting their mouths off,
or engaged in
bad stuff. That's bad. That's stuff that is gun stuff that is bad.
Situations that don't necessarily call for weapons.
And one of those, like dinner with your family?
We know that there are many other jurisdictions, even around the world, where that is not, necessarily the case. It's not needed.
Yes, that exists in the land of Unicornia. That's where the police officers have marshmallow guns and they paint rainbows on cars. I would like to say to the mayor of Brooklyn Center, if he would say that to the surviving family members of New Mexico State Police Officer Jarrett, who died this week during a traffic stop with an armed drug trafficker.
Developing tonight, state police released details on what led up to the murder of state police officer Jarrett. They also released lapel and dash cam video showing what happened. We will only be showing a small portion of the video. Here's a screenshot showing 39-year-old Omar Cueva pointing an AR-15 rifle at Officer Jarrett on I-10 just east of Deming.
Now, Mr. Mayor, I would like you to notice that police officer living the last seconds of his life and tell his family that he should not have been armed.
In early February.
And police officers should not be armed.
You can hear Officer Jarrett tell Cueva he pulled him over because the tint on his window was too dark. You can also hear the officer ask if he could take Cueva's gun for his safety. Cueva gets out of the truck and shoots the officer several times within just 5 minutes of being pulled over. You can then see Homeland Security officers rush in within a minute to help out Officer Jarrett.
In other words, politicians should think before shooting their mouths off. Good Morning Britain reporter Noel Phillips' live shot from Brooklyn Center was interrupted by gunfire.
A growing crisis.
And as we were filming, this happened.
A very tense standoff between protesters and police. And as you can hear, several gunshots.
Behind those cars. Now! Now!
You know, next time, just let me do hurricane coverage or send me to Afghanistan, but never to America again.
We heard 20 to 30 gunshots fired from a group of men towards the police.
Welcome to America.
Man, I was born in a country where we didn't get the chance to have freedom and express our freedom.
Well, I think you were born in America, and pretty much freedom is a way of life.
And we came here to be free, and we're not even free.
This shooting has happened on the outskirts.
Free to do what? Raid a dollar store?
Of Minneapolis, just miles away from where George Floyd was killed.
Yeah. 60 Minutes offered a 100% apology-free editorial after deceptively editing an interview with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis last week that attempted to peg him for pay-for-play with Publix grocery stores and COVID vaccinations. Here's their absolutely insincere response to journalistic malpractice.
In the mail this week, comments on our story about disparities in the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines.
Okay, in the mail, are you going to start with the negative stuff about how you falsely edited to make the governor look bad?
Vaccine in Palm Beach County, Florida. Viewers focused on an exchange with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
The one that was edited, to make him look bad?
Press conference. Some viewers, including a retired newsman, applauded the story.
Of course, they start with the compliment.
Ron DeSantis will continue to deny, refute, call your reporting a witch hunt. I can only hope that you continue to investigate and expose the truth. But many more comments condemned our editing and reporting.
That's because you lied.
Shameful, biased reporting. That is what you're guilty of. You are no longer journalists, but lobbyists and advocates. Then there was this.
Oh, yes.
I've watched 60 Minutes for decades. After your biased piece on Governor DeSantis, I will only watch it one more time, just to see if you broadcast this message.
You know, maybe it's just me, but I didn't hear an apology or a retraction during that story. Might have missed it. You ever try to get an apology out of a 3-year-old or out of your wife? It's not going to happen.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.